Hey everyone, this podcast is part of Story Mode, the podcast network of Gamefully Unemployed. You can support us and gain access to other great exclusive podcasts at patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed. That's patreon.com/GAMEFULLY unemployed, which is spelled like it sounds.
Hi everybody!
Hello everyone!
Hi, my name's David Bell.
I am Tom Ryman.
And I'm Katie Willert.
Woo, and we just watched
Hausu.
Hausu.
House.
House.
スイート、私あなたを救えなかった。
I love how this movie begins, or it starts where it says, a film. House.
Well, they're not wrong.
It's
No, they're
true.
not. None
It
of that's
is
incorrect.
A
Yeah.
film.
Yeah. Okay, just starting
shit.
out real quick, and I gotta scroll through the notes to note this. Guys, this is a Thursday. Thursday we just watched, which means one of our patrons made us watch a movie.
God bless. Who made you?
It is Bob Grenville.
Bob Grenville, God bless.
Yeah, Bob Grenville gave us a list of movies to choose from, and House was on that list, and it was like, well, that's the one we're going to watch, obviously.
Yeah, clearly.
Yeah. And we don't normally have a guest for this, but you are very excited about the prospect of talking about House, Katie.
I saw a photo on Twitter about we just watched, and it was the mansion from Hausu, and I was like, well, I need to be a part of this, and I literally kicked the door down of Twitter and was like, I need to be. What are you? When are you recording? I will be there. And I sat in an hour of traffic to get here in the rain because this movie is so important to me.
And we're happy to have you. So I guess I want to start by asking you what in particular you love about House.
It's batshit crazy. And I just think that there's such a... It doesn't happen anymore as much. You know what I mean? Like... Just in movies in general, it's a formula. It's pretty, you know, I mean, obviously it's not all film, and I think that we get gems, you know, but this movie he was like a music video director.
Yeah.
And they were like, make a movie, and he went, okay.
Sure.
Or like a commercial director. He like had never directed a film
never
before.
made a movie.
And it doesn't make a whole lot of sense, and it's visually just so cool and weird and crazy, and I love it. There's nothing like it.
There truly isn't. This might be the greatest example I can think of a movie that fucking defies you to understand what the hell is going on.
Okay, yes and no, I would say, because it's a
the
classic
basics of
haunted
it.
house movie.
Right, the basics of it are very straightforward, but it goes so batshit, and it's just like, fuck you, we're going. This is happening.
I feel like it's one of those movies that you have wash over you, right?
Yes.
Like you don't walk away from it having an emotional shift or like an understand. It's mostly just like, this is a thing that you experience, and you are different because you experienced it.
Your life has changed.
Yeah.
I think one of the most unique things about this movie, watching it again, I have the Criterion collection version
Hell
of it.
yeah.
It's great. It has a making of with interviews and so on and so forth. But it's preluding to a lot of filmmaker styles. It has Scorsese style in it. It has Sam Raimi. It has Wes Anderson. Like, it feels like it inspired a lot of other directors. Along the way, and
Michel Gondry's in there too.
Yeah, oh, for sure. Yeah. The style it's so unique, and it breaks so many rules.
I think every single one.
Yes, all of the rules.
Just about.
Do you know what's funny is the first time I saw this movie, I don't remember who I was with. I feel like it was like Abe and like my ex John. It was like a USC film people that I was with when I saw it, and I was shit-faced. And I remember being and enjoying it so deeply, and then being like, there's no way that I could enjoy it, that movie is as good as I remember. And then I watched it again sober, and I was like, oh no, this fucking rules.
It's better, yeah.
I actually, like, it doesn't feel like a fever dream anymore. It feels like something I actually experienced.
Right. The overall experience, I would describe, because do you guys think this movie is scary at all?
No.
No.
Okay, I disagree. I find this movie at times deeply unnerving.
Unnerving and scary are two different things to me in my head.
I would say there's legitimately one part that made me like afraid. It's when she first takes the head out of the well.
Yeah.
And what had been going on until that moment, the movie's so like cartoonish. Like the guy can't.
Right. Their teacher gets his butt stuck in a bucket.
Yeah, he gets stuck in a and
See,
like
that
a
was the part
Benny
that
Hill
when I was drunk that I cut out was the whole teacher storyline. So then watching it again sober, being like, what the fuck is this extra little movie happening on the side?
You can just remove all of Mr. Togo and it doesn't matter at all.
Mr. Togo.
But I love that. I love because he's like going there to quote unquote rescue them, and then
he
doesn't matter. He
gets turned into bananas.
He sure does.
Wow. But yeah, when she goes in thinking she's getting the melon out of the well and it's Mac's head, it is scary because it's the first turn.
Exactly. And it's still done in the same style as everything, but until then, everything's
very Evil Dead.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But until that point, it's also slapsticky and like silly. Yeah. And then in that same like in that same style, it's the head. I also I find the piano kind of unnerving. Not so much at eating her, but then later when they're playing that's the theme to this movie, I think is a little haunting.
It's like Poltergeist.
Yeah.
It reminds me a lot of the Poltergeist themes.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, I'll tell you. Except
cats. Meow, meow, meow. Meow, meow,
meow. I tell you what. I kept thinking of the Black Parade.
I was a young boy. My father took me to the house in the country.
Took me into a Hausu to see a kitty cat.
Oh, that cat, man. That puffy white cat.
There's just, man. That fucking
God,
cat
this movie.
It's so good. Every little moment. I was writing down notes about like there's a part where the cat walks into a room and it's announced by like its shadow projected on the wall and the shadow's not moving. Yeah. And it's just like meow. And then it just like cuts to the cat walking in and the scene continues like you didn't see that just happen. And that's what I love about the movie is that it makes you feel like you're going crazy because you're just like, wait, what?
The movie is gaslighting you at the same time it is gaslighting its characters.
Yeah.
110%. Because not a lot of the loose ends ever tie up.
Oh, no.
I just love that there's like an old-timey movie flashback when she remembers her husband. And it's like the 20s in Japan.
And her friends riff tracks it. They MST3K her memory, which I thought was such a good idea. That felt like something Tarantino would do.
Yeah.
And I've never seen that in a movie before because they're not commenting on what she would presumably saying. They're saying stuff like, oh, her dress is so pretty. And they're like talking about the visuals of the flashback.
Right. They're all together. They are all seeing it happen.
It's so weird.
Ugh. Also, I just want her, Gorgeous. I just want Gorgeous's living room, like that set that's like the living room in the lanai, like the patio, and it's stationary where her dad and her have that conversation.
Oh, yeah.
And all that. I just want to live there. Like,
I want to
make that set my house.
I want to live there with that like sunset scrim and the weird presence of seagulls in the background.
It reminds me of Soap Dish, the set from Soap Dish with the movie Soap Dish with the water that moves in the sunset, the perpetual sunset on the backdrop.
Should we go through the plot of this?
I mean, we can try.
Yeah. Maybe.
We can make a valiant effort.
Well, I mean,
we can give it a shot.
long story short, it's a group of girls go to one of the girls' aunt's house.
For vacation.
Yeah, Gorgeous is on, I believe.
Yeah,
it's Gorgeous.
And she's like sort of isolated from the rest, as they show in that Scorsese-esque Iris in shot of just like The Departed, where it's like her and her friends, and it goes whoop in on her.
Yes.
And then they go to visit the aunt, and they bring a single melon.
Yep.
For some reason.
They stop at the melon farmer.
Right.
It's like a thing.
Where the man turns into bananas eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the melon farmer hides behind the melons for some reason. I assume he sits there all day waiting for people to pick up melons, so his face is behind him.
Yeah. And when they pick him up, he's like, tee-hee.
Yeah. And then the house is a poltergeist. The house comes alive.
Yes.
And it eats them all one by one, and it turns out the aunt is a ghost who died when her husband died in the war. Mm-hmm. And she's possesses Gorgeous's body.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And
in an attic. With a very nice like kimono and like vanity setup.
Right. And then the house consumes everyone. And then Gorgeous's stepmom shows up at the end and is also killed by the house, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, like it doesn't happen, but they like have a peaceful time, in the house, and Gorgeous is not Gorgeous. Gorgeous
right.
is the auntie. Yeah.
The last line is, I really like the last line. It's she's asked where her friends are, and she says they'll wake up soon. They'll be hungry. They wake up when they're hungry. Yep. Which of course she's referring to the fucking house.
Yeah.
You forgot to name all of the friends.
Okay, yes.
Oh, yes. It's
it's imperative.
Okay.
We have Fantasy.
Well, we gotta start with Gorgeous.
Gorgeous, yeah.
Prof. She's the smart one.
The smart one.
She's the nerdy one.
Melody, who plays the piano.
Yep.
Then there's Kung Fu, who's my personal
Kung
favorite.
fucking Fu.
Did you know
she's the best?
It is legit that actress doing that stuff.
Yeah. She's running the fuck around all over, kicking.
Yeah.
She is so badass. She sends her legs through the spirit realm to kick that cat's picture.
I want to bring up the names because, for the most part, did you notice they all die according to their names?
Oh, yeah, Mac with the food.
Yeah, Mac turns into food. The fucking watermelon eating scene with the eyeball out of her mouth.
Yep.
Oh, and the chewing sounds.
That's my favorite gif, is her eating the watermelon with the big long spoon.
That's like super Sam Raimi with the noises. Gorgeous gets possessed by a mirror. Kung Fu's legs are the only thing left of her.
Yeah,
and they
Melody
do Kung
gets
Fu.
eaten by a piano.
Yeah.
Melody gets eaten by a piano, yeah.
I think the only weird one is...
Sweet and Fantasy.
Fantasy ends by having a fantasy that the aunt, and she gets lured to Gorgeous at the end.
Yes.
And Sweet gets lured in by the doll.
Ow.
Which I guess is
Who died by mattress?
Sweet.
Okay.
And she gets put into the clock.
Into a doll, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
This movie. I guess we should have said at the start of this, go watch this movie if you haven't seen it.
Yeah, I think it's worth it just to have the experience. Because it's not like you're going to be terrified or it's going to fuck you up or anything like that. You're literally going to watch it and just be like, oh, I'm different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like, and even sitting here listening to us describe the plot really doesn't ruin the film. Like, the film is the experience of watching it.
Although
like,
I don't want to say the last like big action-y event.
Unless we'll say that for the end.
Because I'm like, oh, that's just a fun thing to like watch.
It's a fun surprise.
Yeah.
So yeah, the movie starts with Gorgeous and her dad introducing the stepmom, and she's mad
because her mom only died 8 years.
Yeah.
Prior.
Is that not long enough of a mourning period?
I don't know. I
Gorgeous.
mean, I'm sure it's hard. I don't know, but also she was like weirdly petulant about it.
Yeah, she's supposed to be like kind of a teenager who's doesn't quite understand yet. I don't know. Her dad looks like he's smoking a crack pipe. I don't think that's what's happening, but it sure looks like it.
Her dad is her dad is dressed like Japanese Elvis. Like he's dressed like 70s disco Elvis.
Yeah, long pointy collar.
Yeah.
I fucking love her dad.
I like the montage of pictures with her and her dad because one of them's them eating the same piece of bread at the same time. And
normal pictures you take with your father.
All the other pictures are normal, and that one you're just like, oh, whoa.
You don't have a bread eating picture with your dad?
You know, what I love about this movie is that like my best friend's husband, he works at the library, and he checked Hausu out, and he was like, I want you to come over and watch it with Caroline. And Caroline was like, I don't know, because she's not a horror movie person. And then she was like, oh my God, this is extremely my jam. Like, she's like a late, like that kind of fuzzy, like aesthetic over the camera, like Vaseline on the lens where everything's a little like blurry, and like all these weird there's like 60s influences and then 70s influences and all that. She ended up being like, how have I never seen this before?
That's, I think, a lot of reaction. I think Starlene Hodge, who she showed me this for the first time, I believe, and it was another reaction of like, how the fuck did I not see this?
Because it's a Japanese horror movie from the like late 70s,
right? But again, it's
77, I think.
Yeah,
it really feels like it inspired a lot of filmmaking from here on. The scene after the dad stuff where they're in high school and they're all sitting at the bench. Mm-hmm. And the shot is each of them have a close-up shot, a pretty tight shot on their torso talking, and they keep swiping through the edit to each one as they're talking to have the conversation. It was like, that's fucking wild. And then as at the end of the conversation, it ends on one of them and it just zooms out and shows them all. And then it irises in on Gorgeous to show her isolation. I was like, this person is out of their mind, but this is fucking fantastic. Like, I need more filmmaking like this. It's like so much was done like in the edit where they're just like in the Gilliam style animation of like,
oh yeah,
oh god, it's so good.
All the stuff, yeah. It's an experience for the eyes.
Yeah, for sure. It's, oh man. I really enjoy
He's
this
having
movie.
a moment.
God, this film. I mean, I get it. I get it.
Yeah, no, it's great.
It's I don't really know.
They try to give the cat a burger on the train.
Yeah, they sure do.
Oh yeah. I forgot the cat fucking shows up at Gorgeous's house, and then they take the cat
like corrals
with them
her, yeah.
And
back to the aunt's house.
Oh man, yeah. How did the cat get there?
It's magic.
Yeah,
okay,
magic
so
cat.
wait, who? Okay, so the cat. No, when did the cat show up? Because I remember being on the train.
When she's writing the letter, I think, to her aunt, or reading the letter from her aunt. She's at her desk, I think, and the cat comes in through the window.
Oh, okay.
I feel like that's what happened. I
She's
could be wrong.
Like, hey, cat.
And then I think she knows that it's her aunt's cat, or maybe it's just like, oh, I guess I have a cat now.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
When someone gets out of the refrigerator, I think it's the aunt, like, opens up the refrigerator and walks out of it.
Yeah, she lives in the refrigerator.
Broken.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that aunt.
I want that haircut.
Yeah.
Great. I love the sequence where she's... Oh, sorry.
Oh, I was just going to say, I love the montage sequence where she's just like mugging for the camera after they've eaten Mac's head as a watermelon.
That's what I was about to say. She's the only character who looks, I believe, directly at the camera, who breaks the fourth wall, and she's dancing, and she's eating an arm, and having a great fucking time.
There's skeletons that dance in this movie too. I forgot.
Oh my god, that's.
I feel like we sound like we're making this up. Like if someone hadn't seen the movie, they're like, "Fuck you! No, there's no way." And
there's no
I'm
way.
here
This is a
to
real
tell
movie.
you, yes, there is a way, and yes, it's amazing.
Yeah, it's still though at its core, it's a classic slasher film.
Yeah, gore.
They all get stuck in a house and they get killed one by one.
Yeah, to the point that they're dumb kids too. Like I noticed in the when they're MST3King her memory. When they show the Hiroshima bomb, one of them says, "It's like cotton candy." I was like, "Holy shit."
Yeah, they're dumb-ass teens.
And the whole time the music is so happy. Like, it fits the whole format of a slasher. It's just, like, exaggerated. Everything's exaggerated. Like, the music, everything is so over the top.
Oh, yeah. No, this movie does not take place in the real world.
No. When they're on the train, the little boy reading the storybook, and they pull into it, and then the train ride is seen as the storybook. Like, little shit like that is so good. It's like...
Yeah, it's the most... it's probably the most surreal horror movie I've ever seen. Probably.
I'm trying to think. Yes.
Just in terms of being so completely untethered.
Well, and then there's just alongside it the whole teacher, some of them want to fuck. Like, but he's such a weird guy, you know? Like,
yeah, for a while I thought he was just their friend, because I was like, surely they keep calling him Mr. something, but that can't be
they introduce
right.
him as like what they say are like our handsome, manly teacher,
and it's just like a dude. Like he's not like burly. He's not like particularly masculine. He's just this like kind of dork man, and then he follows them, which is like gotta be against the rules. They invited him, I think.
Yeah,
right?
They do. Yeah,
they're like, come to my aunt's house, and I'm like,
and
that's a felony, bud.
Yeah, if you're a teacher, you go, no, I will not do that. Everybody
sure
hear
I
me
can't
say
do
no? I'm saying no.
Well, you know, he was gonna go fuck some underage girls. That's why he got changed into a bunch of bananas.
I love that.
You know what? That's what happens to you.
Because the whole movie, they keep saying he's coming, he'll help us, and his journey is just like he's just such a jackass. It's him like eating.
He's useless.
Oh yeah,
he's completely useless.
He eats ramen, I believe, or he goes to a guy eating ramen with a bear. Did you guys notice the bear?
Yeah, there was a bear.
Yep. They don't call attention to the bear. Nope. It's like the bear was an actor who was in a bear's body and was trying to get back on his feet and was just a featured extra in the film. And was just like,
because he's dressed as like the noodle chef.
Yeah. And they never say, look at that bear, or the bear doesn't make a sound. It feels like the bear's sitting there like, yes, I'm a man trapped in a bear's body. No big deal.
Just let me
I just want to be in this movie. Yeah.
Just tell me what noodles you want.
Yeah.
Man.
So many little things. Kung Fu fights a chandelier when they walk in. That's pretty good.
Sweet dies by mattress.
What's that?
Sweet dies by mattress.
Mattresses. So many mattresses.
Why does she have so many mattresses?
I don't know.
She's
but
got
she
stacks
gets
of them in the back room.
It's a full-on assault via bedding.
And creepy dolls and shit. Or it's where
creepy dolls,
where she keeps her creepy dolls and her mattresses.
Yeah.
This creeped me out. They're eating watermelons with a spoon.
Yeah.
I don't get that.
Very long handle.
Yeah, I guess that is pretty cool.
Yeah. It's pretty bougie.
Yeah.
It's pretty high society.
And the melon's all cold because it was in the well.
That's right.
That's a thing
it's the natural refrigerator.
learned from this movie.
They had when she's pulling the head out of the well, they had that long push pull, the Hitchcock vertigo shot.
Yeah.
There's so many good. They do when she's taking a bath. They reverse the shot so the hair wraps
so her
around
hair crawls up. Yeah.
Like again, that's out of the grunge. Like the grunge.
Oh
the
yeah,
grunge.
the
grunge. Like that's what I mean. It's like watching this movie. I saw so many things. I was like, oh, that's where they come. They got it. Like I think Scorsese was doing his stuff around the same time, but like Sam Raimi is later.
Right.
The Grudge is later. Wes Anderson's later.
The influence is definitely there.
Yeah. The
man, yeah.
Kung Fu fights with
I like
logs.
how it's because it's so hard because the plot doesn't make any sense. I think it's hard to like remember all the shit that happens.
I wrote it all down. Kung Fu fights wooden logs in the backyard,
she does.
and I really like her delivery of fighting the logs, and then she lands and just goes, "This is ridiculous." It's like, yes, Kung Fu, I agree.
Yeah, you are correct, Kung Fu.
We're right there with you, Kung Fu.
Yeah.
Which girl would you be? Who's your...
I have a lot of admiration for Mac.
Yeah. Max always got snacks.
Yeah.
Snack motivated.
I'd like to. I aspire to be kung fu.
I think we all do, right?
Same.
Yeah.
I think I might be prof though.
Yeah.
I think that would be me in a haunted house situation. Is I would just be like, no, that's not possible. That can't happen.
That's the other death. Prof dies while she's trying to read, and her glasses fall off.
Oh god.
It's like, I'll teach you to read, and then she dissolves in the cat blood, as cat blood does. To people.
Dissolves about. I'd probably be. I think I'm sweet. I'm just kind of like happy to be here, and then I get smothered by a mattress.
Just she's so stoked to clean the floors of a house she's been in for 30 minutes.
I am sweet. I am sweet. She's like, doesn't she go into the bathroom when Gorgeous is taking a bath and is like, can I get you like towels or like a water?
She gets her more water. Like she leans into the window and it's like, do you need anything? She's like, I could use some more hot water to wash my hair. And she's like, I'm on it.
Do you know what that reminded me of, now that I think about it, is the scene in Parasite where he comes up to the sister in the bathtub and rolls the bottle of water across the floor to her.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very similar, the vibe between the sister in Parasite and Gorgeous in the bathtub. Both of them in the bathtub it's very similar.
Yeah, I can see that.
I wonder if that was, because I feel like the shots are similar too. Who knows?
I don't know. I think I definitely want to go and look up like movies that were directly inspired by this film.
Right, like because the language of this film it's like so, it's batshit, but like we've been saying, it's like so familiar.
Yeah,
just based on everything we've seen over the last 4 decades since it's come out.
Yeah, and it didn't invent any of this stuff. It just uses it so much, and so I would say effectively. It's just that there's so much to watch and so much going on. When the aunt is doing her dance and eating the hand, she's also eating fish and putting them back in the fish bowl, and the fish come alive. And they don't call that much attention to it. It's like a couple shots. You're like, wait, what the fuck? Like, there's so many little things like that are so like surreal, and I think that's like such a good depiction of a haunting, of like this.
Nothing
weird,
makes sense.
Yeah, and I've never
There's no
seen
logic.
Yeah, I've never seen it done in this way before. I feel like movies have tried to be like hauntings and hallucinations and the characters disoriented here and there, but not when you watching it are like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah.
Yeah, as if we could expect any order from a haunting.
Yeah.
Right. It doesn't do that thing that a lot of other haunting films do, where it sort of restores you back to normal, like in the for example, we keep talking about Poltergeist, like in the scene where that guy peels his face off in Poltergeist, like he snaps out of it and like he looks at himself in the mirror and he's normal again. We don't get that moment in a house.
No, and
where everything's normal again.
It's that where as soon as they're in the house, everything's weird,
and it doesn't stop being weird.
Right.
It's still weird at the end.
Right. Exactly. It's like, and there's just little things that like. They don't like. They'll look at the cat, and the cat's eyes will glow for a second, and then it'll just move on, and they don't necessarily react because they're like bewitched by the house too. Like everything feels kind of like they think it's normal. There was another shot. Oh, this was another thing I noticed, and again, this has been done in other movies later, and it probably isn't the first time. They do the Sam Raimi. The basement shot or the It Follows shot, and they do it so well. Kung Fu finishes a move and she does a backflip, and the backflip's in the shot, and the actress does the backflip, and then they're talking, and it's a wonder where the camera just starts panning in a circle as they're walking around the room, and then it's like maybe a 30-second shot. And then she runs off to the distance, but it's such a beautiful fucking shot. That was rewatching this time. I knew this movie was batshit, but watching it like in a quiet room, I didn't realize how much I liked the cinematography in it. It's actually quite beautiful.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things where once you get, I think it requires multiple viewings, because the first time you're just like, what? And then the second time you're like, oh shit, like look at that, like once you're not going to be surprised. The first time's like a
car accident.
Yeah
you're
just like, this on fire. I don't know, someone made a gif I saw when I was replying to the tweet it's the scene where she's sitting there, but they've done the effect where it's her outline and her inside is just flames. Mm-hmm. And someone just put at the bottom, "This is fine."
Yeah.
And I was just so happy. I was oh yeah, make memes. Make so many memes out of this.
I love that scene too, because when the mirror cracks, it's fucking beautiful and the blood going through it.
Yeah, it's pretty
practical. Dope. All the practical stuff is amazing.
Yeah. All the animation. Should we talk about the piano scene?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure, yeah.
Melody just trying to practice her scales.
Yeah.
Trying to stay on top of it.
Piano gobbles
I love
her up.
that through the entirety of the piano stuff, you can see the skeleton in the background just...
Having a blast.
Yeah. Just rocking out.
The piano eats her, by the way, to the listeners. I feel like we need to explain.
Yeah.
Sure does.
She gets consumed by the piano. It's like Mario 64, the haunted house piano. It gobbles her up, and it's, I think, a combination of it's cartoony, but then there's shots when she's like holding up her hands and the wires are like weaving into her hands, and it's like that's actually grotesque and hard to watch. And when she first is playing on the piano, she lifts her hands and her fingers are gone, and she just laughs because she's again like possessed or bewitched by the house, and then starts screaming as it's killing her. Like there's legitimate, I think, gruesome things happening. Mixed with,
and when the lid of the piano lifts up and it's just this pile of body parts
and it chomp
inside
chomps
of
her.
Yeah.
Nom, 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 nom.
And then later when it's just the fingers playing, like floating, playing the song. And then the fucking
Meow, meow.
and then the piano shuts on the fingers suddenly. Like
blood explodes everywhere.
So fucking unnerving.
Oh my gosh, this movie.
Cat, and then the cat plays the piano.
It does, you're right.
Mm-hmm. It walks across it.
Right.
Meow, 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 meow.
And then a cat.
Meow, meow, meow.
That cat's the best.
Magic cat.
Yeah. Well, I want to talk about the cat painting, I guess. It's probably time, right? That's like
time.
the house's finishing move.
Oh, really? The painting's the finishing move,
Yeah,
not
apparently.
the vats and vats of blood?
Well, the painting is part of it
I
because
know.
it vomits the blood that's apparently, dissolves you. And they are floating in it. Like they use up this set thoroughly.
Yeah, the thought of how they accomplished that particular shot, because they're floating on like a door, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, like it is full of blood. The room fills with blood.
They did not. I think my first instinct, looking at the effects, like if you just look at like the trailer for this movie and you see the piano scene and stuff, you think like, oh, this is like a no budget. They like got around that by doing like cheesy animations. And then you watch the movie and there's a part where she's imagining the teacher coming to rescue her, and they put him on a horse riding, and she gets on and they ride for like 5 seconds, and it's like, man, you got a horse for that shot. Just for that 5 seconds.
It's imperative we have the horse.
Yeah, and there's a lot, like the filling the blood up. That must have been a really difficult scene to shoot.
Yeah, it's a whole tank they had to fill.
Yeah.
One of my favorite shots is it's when they're all in the living room, I think, and then Auntie goes wheeling by in her wheelchair, and the cat jumps onto her lap. I'm putting heavy air quotes on jump because it's clear that somebody threw the cat into her lap.
Oh yeah, I do think overall the cat did good cat acting for being a cat, in that it stayed
Cacting.
It stayed
There
on
you
her
go.
lap for
It did,
Yeah,
yeah.
it cooperated. That's all you can ask for in cat acting, right? Is just for it to not. I think of that scene in James Bond with what's his name in the white cat.
Yeah, Blofeld.
Blofeld, thank you. And there's like a famous shot you can find online where the cat's clearly freaking out in Donald Pleasant's hands, and he's just like holding onto the cat for dear life, and he's just getting scratched up, and the cat's like eyes are bugging out, and it's like trying to squeeze through his hand, and it's just like, yeah, it's James Bond movie. They still couldn't get a cooperative cat.
I had to look it up because I couldn't remember. But so the guy who plays Mr. Togo was a country music singer.
Huh.
Ooh.
And he was friends with the director Obayashi through their shared hobby of horseback riding.
Oh, shit!
So I think that might be why they put that shot in of him riding the horse.
That was a cheap-ass horse then. He was just like, yeah, I got a horse.
I got a horse. Can we add a scene where I'm riding with the horse? Yeah, sure, he says.
Yeah, why not? I mean, I could see that being a lot, because this movie's so disjointed. It's like they just use whatever they have. So they're like, yeah, you got a horse? Yeah, I got a horse and a bear. You want the bear?
Yeah,
we can dress it up.
You can juggle, right?
I mean,
yeah,
we can figure something out with the bear.
Is there juggling in this?
No, I mean, but it's that sort of thing of like, what can you do? And then it's like in fucking Animal House when D-Day plays the song on his throat. That literally it was like, what can you do? And he was like, I can do this weird thing. And they're like, cool, we're putting it in the movie.
Screw it, yeah.
Screw it, we're horseback riding.
I mean, that could have been like the auditions, and one girl's like, I know how to do kung fu. And they're like, great.
You're kung
hired.
fu.
Yeah.
That's your
You're
name.
kung fu.
That's got to be it.
I have glasses. Great, you're prof.
You're prof. We don't have to buy
You're the professor.
It's real like Scooby-Doo-esque, that idea of them all
Oh, yeah.
having like their thing. Like, yeah, there's something it's just there's something so great about that, and then just them getting completely slaughtered.
One at a time.
Yeah.
Getting eaten by the house and
Right.
or the ant.
Oh yeah, yeah. Or all of them.
And
Do they-
occasionally mattresses.
Yeah. Is the idea when Max disappears, they see the head, and the head goes back into the well, and then they bring out the melon again. Is the idea that they're eating her head secretly?
No, I think.
Yes.
Oh.
Well, because she's eating it, they're all eating, and it's this
She's
crunching
got
sound,
eyeballs
and
in her
she
mouth.
sticks
I
the
don't know.
eyeball out. And
Maybe
looks
not.
around.
Maybe she's just fucking with fantasy. I don't know.
Well, see,
Katie, what do you think?
I always thought that it was that Mac had already been eaten and consumed, and then so it was the melon, but the bewitching is already happening. So like she thinks it's the head, and then that's just the house playing tricks on her, and then the ant, I think, legitimately had an eyeball still or whatever.
Right.
But I
she's
think they're
later
actually
the
eating
arm, too.
melon
Okay.
at that point. Maybe you're right though. Maybe they bewitched it to make it look like a melon, but it's actually Mac's head.
I don't know if there's an answer here.
Yeah, is there a way we can find out?
I think it's just how we interpret the scenes.
Something spooky's going on,
Yeah.
regardless.
Something's up. This house is
This house is fucked.
fucked. Alternate title.
Oh, shit.
Oh man. Going through my notes.
All the
Yeah, I
fucking
don't-
crazy moments.
What's that?
Sorry, looking through all the fucking
Oh,
crazy
yeah.
moments.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I covered most of them. It's just such a beautiful fucking movie. It's so unnerving. I keep saying that. Oh yeah, the giant eye at the end and the giant lips when Gorgeous becomes fucking giant. Which again, Sam Raimi, a giant head busts through the room and they all react. And then her giant floating eye, and when the eye moves, it goes and makes this cracking sound, which is straight out like the deer coming alive in The Evil Dead. Like this.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it's this ability to use, because the sound is a big part of this movie.
Meow, 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 meow.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which
Sorry.
I looked up. I tried to find the soundtrack, and I don't think it's available.
That sucks because it was
Aw.
like released ahead of the movie. I think they were like really down for the music.
Yeah, it's a combination of like English songs I've never heard before. They all sound very familiar, and they're all so happy. And then just like a dude on a piano, just hitting the keys with one finger.
Spooky.
Yeah, it's real spooky.
Super spooky, you guys. Yeah, man, I don't know what else to say other than just continue to say how much this movie rules.
Yeah, I mean, if you're, I would say something I should know. I mean, like I said, this was shown to be my star. who is not a horror fan. Katie, are you a horror fan?
No,
I'm not really. I'm like, I'll watch a good movie, any genre. So I will watch horror movies if they're good films, but like I'm not particularly a horror person.
Okay, I feel like I should have said this, or we should have said this at the top, but if you're not into horror, still watch this movie.
Yeah, it's not scary.
It's
David's like, I would disagree.
I sort of disagree, but like it's not giving me nightmares or anything. It's there's parts that I certainly, wouldn't show a child to. Any
you
of
wouldn't
this.
show this movie to a child.
I feel like
the child's
the
cool.
gore is
Right.
fake enough that it's not.
Yeah.
It doesn't wouldn't fuck you up like some people who can't handle gore.
Right.
It's tonally so odd because it's so happy-go-lucky positive for most of it.
Yeah.
So it just is kind of like an odd pairing.
It's more
Unsettling.
It's unsettling. It's not for everybody. I think of the movie oh no, never mind. That's not a good example. I was going to bring up Begotten, but that movie's kind of gory. It's like what is that? Who made it? There's a German stop motion Alice in Wonderland movie called Alice. That is that is horribly unnerving. It's a real little girl, and then they're all like stop motion stuffed like taxidermy animals.
Ugh.
And the white rabbit keeps having to like stop because sawdust keeps falling out of it, and it has to stuff it back in and sew itself back up. And it's just real, like there's nothing in it from what I remember that's like R-rated.
Right.
It's just when you watch it, you're like, I don't feel good.
Yeah, I'm uncomfortable and queasy.
And this isn't that, but it's this. I feel good after watching this movie.
Yeah, you feel like amped.
Yeah, but it's that level of weirdness. It's like for anybody who likes experimental films, this is your jam.
But also, I think if you don't like experimental films, it's still so batshit that it's fun to watch, even if it's just once.
And if you just like good art, because I think this is good art. Like it's
yeah, for sure.
It's fascinating. It's something that could be on loop in a museum, like projected on a wall.
Yes.
It's just visually very fascinating. It's so different than most films. It might be the most different film I've watched.
Yeah, that's not
true?
not followed any rules.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I actually think that might be the case for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely for me.
I'm really thinking on this, and it might be.
Yeah, because it doesn't. The plot is not linear.
Yeah.
The visuals are insane.
Right.
Same with the audio. The acting is not tethered in reality, really.
Yeah. What'd you guys think of the acting? I haven't even thought about the acting.
It's fine. It's fine.
What do you think, Tom?
I think it's fine.
Well, I think this is it's not reality. None of it's reality.
No.
So
none of this is in the real world.
Yeah, so the acting was like, I didn't think about it because it's like they're all like belong in this reality. I think the aunt's killing it.
Yeah.
She's amazing.
Yeah, she's great.
I got to look up what else she's done. If
Yeah.
she's done anything else.
I mean, I think the whole point is that these girls are like teen girls.
Yeah.
And they all play that very well.
Yeah,
you know
it's-
what I mean? Like
yeah.
we like boys and we're like going on a trip together and oh my god, there's blood you know what I mean?
Right. It's like a parody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they act so wholesome. So you think about like then what they have to go through. It works really well.
It's a masterpiece.
It's a masterpiece.
Yeah. It's somehow manages to be a cinematic masterpiece without following any kind of internal logic.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, I disagree.
That there's no logic.
I think there's internal logic.
The only logic is there is no logic.
Yeah, but there's a plot. There's a plot
There's
that
a
makes
plot.
sense. Well, it's any other horror movie plot. This is all right. This is the thing. If you're gonna make a slasher horror, and you're just gonna make it like the same plot as anything else, group of kids getting together, they go out to an isolated area, they get killed one by one. You might as well do this,
Yeah.
because the plot's fairly conventional. Even the twist of like it was a ghost all along, and it's the house, and then the idea of the aunt coming at the end, and it's like the creepy little cliffhanger. It's just that it's visually, I think, doesn't follow any rules. It has no internal logic visually, which I think fits with, again, the subject matter. I don't know, like if this was like a documentary or like a love story or something like that, I don't think it would work. It would be like,
Right.
that's dumb. That's ineffective. But the fact that it's the horror genre makes it just work so well.
And then he sips his seltzer.
I think I mean, I love this film.
We love this movie.
we love
I
this
think
film.
we've run out of
This
stuff.
movie's
I think
amazing.
it's great, and everybody should watch it.
Yes.
If you have
Yes.
Canopy, I think the library app, you can get the whole Criterion collection to check out for
Really?
free. Yeah,
Oh, no shit.
yeah.
It's also on Amazon. It's rentable on Amazon right now. I don't know if that's any different than the Criterion.
Yeah, probably not.
Well, I think it's free at the library.
Yeah, that's what I was.
Okay, fine.
If you got a library card, I think you can.
Stupid library. Then you have to like go to the library.
No, Canopy, it's on your phone.
Whoa.
Do you not have Canopy and Hoopla and Overdrive?
Are these library things?
Yeah, there are apps that you attach to your library card and account, and you can check out like movies and audiobooks and TV shows.
This is going to change me.
Yeah, that's real great. I think you can get Canopy too on Apple TV. Like I think they have like an app. I'm not sure about other systems, but
Okay. Do you have to go to the library like physically to get the library card when you
Yes.
start?
David, it's one trip to the library.
That's going to be a big hurdle.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
But also the fun thing too is that when you have a library card, like I have an Los Angeles Public Library card, is that I get all the books. I go on their online catalog and I get all of them sent to my library that's down the street from me. So then I can pick them all up and you can return them at any other LA Public Library. Now it may be different here in your neck of the woods.
Okay.
But
So no promises.
no promises.
Okay.
But
I'll see what I can do.
David's not going to get a library card.
I'm probably not going to get a
He's
library
going to keep
card.
renting movies on Amazon.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Listen, if I have to pay $3 for the privilege of not leaving my house at all, I'm probably
Yeah,
gonna
what is
throw
your
down
time
$3
worth?
every time.
What is your time worth?
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. Are we done?
Yeah.
Is
I
that
like how
so?
we
I think
we hit a wall.
I
We
think we're done.
expounded how much we love the house.
It was an explosion, and then it like.
It was.
slow burn.
Yeah. It's great, guys. It's great. Katie, thank you.
Thanks for letting me
Yeah.
crash your We Just Watch on Twitter.
Absolutely. Yeah, anytime.
Yeah. Do you want to plug anything? You got?
I'm on Twitter and Instagram at KA Willert, and there's a link on my Instagram and my Twitter for my art, which is for sale on Society 6. I'm really enjoying putting a new piece up every week. I make some weird stuff, so if you want little prints, that's primarily what I sell, and I would love to have my art in your house.
Do it.
Yeah.
I've been enjoying
Do it.
watching you tweet about your art.
Oh, thanks,
Yeah.
man.
You should do house art.
Oh, I should
do
do
house
house.
art.
House. I
House.
should do the cat.
Yeah.
House.
Or the watermelon and the lady. That is a fantastic shot.
Yeah, maybe I do that.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what I do.
So as we said on the top of this is through our Patreon. If you're interested in that, you should go to patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed. We have, a tier where you can tell us to watch movies. We also have a tier with exclusive podcasts like Fox Mulder is a Maniac and Tom and Jeff Watch Batman. There's a tier where you can just watch movies with us every Friday night.
Accurate.
Yeah, we should. Tom, one of these nights, I was just thinking we should do the Final Destinations. Have we not done those?
Oh, no.
Yeah.
We should.
Yeah.
Holy shit. How have we not done
don't know.
this? Yeah.
100%.
we
Is
gotta do
that just you guys, or can I come sit in?
You can come sit in. You just
Okay.
need to like this. It's through Discord, and there's an app. And you
Oh,
just
I
have to
was
do
like,
it on
can
a
I just
computer.
come to your house and watch the movie?
We could actually do a setup like that. It would just be you and me.
We could, yeah.
Like we don't all get together. We just do it all via chat on the internet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
None of this IRL bullshit.
No. Oh no.
Never.
No, I don't go to the library.
I don't go outside. I don't go to the library. I don't watch movies with friends.
The light hurts.
It's dark outside at 4:30. What are you doing?
Tom, you want to tell us about our store?
We got a store at tpublic.com/store/gamefully unemployed where you can get t-shirts and stickers and posters and junk. Check it out. We're always adding new stuff.
It's true.
It is true.
He's telling the truth. He's a real truth teller. That's him.
We really did peter out at the end of this fucking episode.
I think we're
very shh. True Tom, truth teller. Okay, bye everybody.
Bye.
Yeah, let's play that. Bye.